Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. Today we will take a look at free and untradeable items in the game that are going to help you specifically for combat, and are decent and cheap options if you are on a budget. So let's do something different for once, and let's begin the video right away. Of course, not before telling you that a subscription to the channel would be greatly appreciated, along with a thumbs up on the video, and that you can join our growing Discord community with the link in the description below. And of course, one quick disclaimer is that when I say free and untradeable items, that's exactly what they are, but keep in mind that in order to get them, you might have to spend a few coins on either the grind, the quest, or the achievement diary the item is linked to. So, let's begin! I will start out with full sets, and then we are going to cover different equipment slots from top to bottom. There's going to be many items to cover, and I will go into detail for the most important ones, but if you want to learn more about some of them, you can check out the wiki for more information. Void armor is going to be first on the list, and by earning enough pest control points, you can get the top, bottom, gloves, and all three of the helmets for each of the combat style. Don't forget that with the completion of the Hard Western Achievement Diary, you can upgrade the top and bottom with a few extra points and turn them into Elite Void pieces for 2.5 bonus damage boost and plus 6 prayer bonus, which is going to be incredible for your trips. A pretty decent budget magic set is the Lunar Armor, which is available to you after the Lunar Diplomacy quest. The most important pieces are the ring, gloves, and boots, but this set and the individual pieces are just useful if you have literally 0 GP, as better alternatives like Mystic Robes are better for just a few thousand GP on the Grand Exchange. And finally, as a full set, we have the Ghostly Robes specifically for Pures. If you have an account like this, chances are you already know what you're doing, but just in case you don't, this is pretty much the staple for magic damage for Pures, right behind the Elder Kaoz robes. Moving on to individual equipment slots, we will begin with the helmet, and one of the most important and iconic items is the Nezi Helm. Now, you might think, well, Kaoz, this one actually costs money on the Grand Exchange, what the fuck? Aha, but remember that after completing the Fremnik Isles quest, you get your very first Nezi Helm absolutely for free. Now, just in case you lose it, you will have to pay 50,000 coins to get it back from the guy who gives it to you right after the quest. Also free but not exactly super helpful or convenient to obtain are the Ranger and Healer Barbarian Assault hats for ranged and magic respectively. I would say this is mostly for completion purposes, as like many items on the list, there are cheaper alternatives you can get very quickly. And finally for Pures, we have the Halos obtained from Last Man Standing, as it provides some defensive bonuses as well as a decent prayer bonus for your 1 defense pure battles. Up next we have the cape slot, and oh boy, we have a lot to cover in this one, so I will go over each option rather quickly to speed things up. Up first for melee we have the fire cape, and this is exactly what one of the disclaimers was for. Although technically the cape is untradeable and free, you will have to spend either a few thousand GP for supplies or hundreds of thousands of coins if Jad still intimidates you. Regardless, after your first run, this is the second best melee cape you can get, and will pay for itself in the long run. If you want the number 1 best in slot melee cape though, you will have to go through the Inferno. And we all know that this is not free, not only because it will cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of coins on supplies, but also because it will claim your sanity, and the mental toll will be nothing compared to the number of pixels you spend trying to get one of these bad boys. For ranged, we have Ava's devices. After Animal Magnetism, and at 30 ranged, you can buy the Attractor. At 50 ranged, you can buy the Accumulator, and after completion of the Dragon Slayer 2 quest, and also with a Vorkat's head, which is guaranteed at 50 kills, you can combine it with the Accumulator, some Mithril Arrows, and 5,000 coins for the best in slot ranged cape item. And finally for magic, we have the God Capes obtained after completion of the Mage Arena mini quest when you get level 60 magic. If you want to test your skills even further, you can aim for the Imbued God Capes after completing the Mage Arena 2 mini quest, which requires level 75 magic and will give you the best in slot magic cape in the game. Outside of combat, or even for combat if you want, we have a few worthy options, starting with the Arty Cape. This is a staple item for Ironman and even unrestricted accounts. The Arty Cape 4 is especially useful for stab and prayer bonuses, and I always take it on my trips to KBD since it's a great budget item in case you get PK'd. Moving on to quests, we have the Legends Cape. It also has pretty decent defensive stats in terms of mid-game, so you can't go wrong with this one on your way to that quest cape. And speaking of quest cape, once you defeat Galvik and have access to the Myths Guild, you can buy a mythical cape for extremely good crush bonuses on the cape slot, as well as unlimited teleports to the Myths Guild. Again, both of these items are not free per se, but they are very cheap for all of the benefits you can get, and they go with the theme of the video. Last on the list for the cape slot, we have the Soul Cape. You can get this item by trading it in for 2500 soul worth points, and it has the best prayer bonus in the game compared to all other capes. If you are looking to extend your Slayer trips that require damage protection, this is a very useful item to have, although slightly inconvenient to get. When it comes to amulets, we have the opposite scenario as the capes, and the only useful item I could find that it's technically free is the Amulet of Accuracy. I guess this is a decent early game, especially for free-to-play players, but even an Amulet of Power, Amulet of Strength, or even a Glory Amulet are much better options, and are basically dirt cheap at the moment. Same case for the ammo slot, as the only good item that's both free and untradeable is the Errata's Blessing, but starting at the second one, however. They will give you a +1 prayer bonus, and the elite version will bump that number up to 2. And it's pretty much the only thing you can wear if you are training melee or magic, or even ranged by using a blowpipe. One-handed items are also pretty forgotten, but one of the best items you can acquire is the Arc Light. After the Demon Slayer quest, you will get the Silver Light. After the Shadow of the Storm quest, the item evolves into the Dark Light. And finally, by infusing it with 3 ancient shards obtained from the Catacombs of Kourend, you will get your hands on one of the most powerful weapons against demons in the form of the Arc Light. Just keep in mind that in order to upkeep the item, you will need more ancient shards, but this is technically 100% free of charge. When it comes to two-handed items, we have a few of them, and after completing the Roving Elves quest, you have the option to get the Crystal Bow with 500 charges, which is a great budget option to train ranged with. For melee, the only quest-related item I could think of is the Barrel Chest Anchor, which I actually used to defeat Robert the Strong during Dragon Slayer 2 because I was having some problems defeating it in the past. But after the Great Brain Robbery quest, you get it in a broken state, and it costs 230,000 coins to repair. Now, technically that doesn't follow my rules, but this item is pretty much the inspiration for this video, so I will leave it in here just in case you want to try it out. For chest items, we have the Fighter Torso, and just like the Ranger and Healer hats mentioned before, you will have to buy this one with Barbarian Assault points, and it's pretty much a staple item until you are either able to afford or grind for a Bandos chestplate, or coming in just a few months, a Torva chestplate. We have a few good options for our left hand, starting of course with the Dragon Defender, or any defender for that matter. After a short grind at the Warriors Guild, you will walk away with one of the best items in the game in terms of damage, and one you should never forget when training melee or Slayer. For strictly defensive bonuses, we have the Crystal Shield, which is given to you for free with 500 charges after the quest of Roving Elves. Not as useful as the Dragon Defender, but still, this is a crucial item to have in some cases. And for some extra magic stats, we have the Book of the Dead, obtained after the Kourend quest, A Kingdom Divided. Not only is the book needed to cast resurrection spells with the Archaeus spellbook, but also provides decent magic stats for more accuracy. And finally, strictly for prayer bonuses, we have the Damaged God books obtained after the quest Horror from the Deep. They won't be super useful unless you fill them up with pages, but honestly they are so cheap nowadays it's pretty pathetic as there's no real use for them outside of filling up the books. If you want to go for it, the best ones to have are the Book of Law, Book of Darkness, and the Unholy Book, but the broken ones are still pretty good for prayer bonuses. For the leg slot, there's nothing useful from either quests or achievement diaries strictly for combat, either for defensive or offensive stats. But not to leave you guys empty-handed with this one, the Mauritania legs provides teleports to the Ectofunctus, the Slime Pit, and the Bergtarot for your Barrow strips. For the glove slot, the only two worthwhile items that are free of charge or super cheap are the Shazian Gloves 5 for ranged defensive stats and Clank's Gauntlets obtained during the Underground Pass, which give a +2 strength bonus and only cost 5,000 coins. The Shazian gloves are not super useful because even the Green Dragonhide Bam braces have better stats, but hey, I guess that's something, right? I will break my own rule once again to quickly mention the iconic Barrow's gloves, and I mean breaking my rule because they are technically not free, and after Recipe for Disaster you can buy them for a modest 130,000 coins for one of the best versatile gloves in the game. I have 3 items for the boot slot, starting with the Shazian Boots 5. I recently learned that these have good range defensive stats and that they are better than the super cheap snakeskin boots. So if you are going for the Shazian Armor 5 set, these ones should definitely stay in your bag if you can't afford more expensive options like Blessed Dragonhide boots. For melee we have climbing boots, and you can get these for a measly 12 GP after or even during the quest Death Plateau. These are a great budget option for your feet and are only behind other popular items like the Spiked Manacles, Dragon, and Primordial Boots for strength bonus. Finally, after the Fremenic Isles quest, you can keep the Silly Jester Boots as they offer the second highest magic defense bonus in the game, and I guess they could be fairly useful in some situations, so also keep this in your bank. And for the final equipment slot, we have rings, and the only two useful ones are the Explorer's Ring in any of its versions, as they all provide one prayer bonus, and then the Beacon Ring, which is obtained after the quest What Lies Below. It has the same magic bonus as the Lunar Ring, and it doesn't have anything special, so it's just another budget option if you can't afford a Seer's Ring or a Brimstone Ring, which are pretty much the only rings with magic bonuses. So if you guys made it this far, I am going to have yet another bond giveaway for you, and this time I want to ask you guys, did I forget anything in the video, or do you have any other suggestion that's either free or incredibly cheap for people to looking into budget options for their either Slayer trips or overall just melee training? Make sure to leave your comment, and I am going to pick one at random on Friday, but this one is for subscribers and Discord members only. So make sure to subscribe, and hopefully with notifications on if you like the video, as well as join the Discord, as we are going to have a ton of great activities coming up in the next weeks, as yeah, I have another video coming up letting you guys know that I am going to be doing RuneScape full-time at least until February after Leagues 3. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, join the Discord, leave your comment, and hopefully you have good luck for this giveaway that's coming up on Friday, and I will reply to your comment if you win. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and you learned something useful. If you did, make sure to drop a like and share it with your friends if they are in need of some budget gear. A massive thank you to all the legends that are my channel members, especially Mr. Moldybot and Demon Cloak, for being in the Nezzy and Dragon tier respectively. If you would like to monetarily support this channel, you can get a ton of cool benefits for your pledge, so check out the join button below. And also a massive thank you to Craig MHGG and Joe Kramer, who joined in the Rune tier during one of my streams, which was also the case for Marcelo F, who actually joined in the Berserker tier, so thank you guys very much for that. In the next video, I don't really know what I'll be doing, but keep an eye out on the community tab to vote on what I should cover next. Thank you guys very much for watching, I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next Monday. Peace!